right on time for Hope TV News Watch on this 18th day of April 2024. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Gloria Musimbi and on the sign language interpretation is Boniface Mirithi. Now making headlines, President William Ruto has officially confirmed the death of Chief of Defense Forces Francis Ogolla. In a press briefing at the State House, President Ruto said Ogolla passed away alongside 9 other military officials in Marakwet East. He confirmed the accident occurred at 2:20 p.m. The president said 2 military officials survived the accident and are receiving treatment in Nairobi. Ogolla was accompanying 8 other military personnel to tour the northeastern Kenya region when the aircraft was involved in the crash after takeoff from Cheptulel Boys Secondary School. 5 of those on board perished in the crash. CDF Ogolla had gone to assess the security situation in the area after last week's President William Ruto's orders to the military to open up and renovate schools in West Pokot, which had closed down due to bandits. Now, Ogolla was appointed last year by President William Ruto and had been a major general before being appointed the Commander Kenya Air Force, where he served for 3 years.
Ogolla, Brigadier Swale Saidi, Colonel Duncan Keitany, Lieutenant Colonel David Sawe, Major George Benson Magundu was also the pilot. Captain Sora Mohammed, Captain Hilary Litali, Senior Sergeant John Kinywa Mureithi, Sergeant Cliffons Omondi, and Sergeant Rose Nyawira. The Chief of Defense Forces on board the Kenya Air Force Huey helicopter had left Nairobi this morning to visit troops deployed in the North Rift under the Operation Maliza Uhalifu, and to also inspect the ongoing school renovation works in the following schools: Chesitet Primary School, Cheptulel High School, Cheboton Primary School, Ksa Primary School, and Saplimoi Primary School. As part of his working tour, the CDF had been briefed on the security situation by a multi-agency team stationed at Chesitet in Baringo County, after which he proceeded to the Kainuk Forward Operating Base in the Turkana County, where he addressed troops, commending them for their resilience and operational success. The Chief of Defense Forces and his entourage departed from Kainuk to Chesegon in West Pokot County, where he launched the rehabilitation of Cheptulel Boys High School. He then departed Chesegon for the Recruits Training School in Uasin Gishu County, where he was scheduled to inspect construction facilities at the institution. Unfortunately, the aircraft crashed shortly after takeoff. This is a very sad moment, a moment of great sadness. For me, as the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, it is a tragic moment for the Kenya Defense Forces fraternity, and it is a most unfortunate day for the nation at large. Our motherland has lost one of her most valiant generals. We have also lost gallant officers, servicemen, and women. The demise of General Ogola is a painful loss to me, and certainly the sorrow we all feel about this passing on is shared by all of the people of Kenya, and most especially the KDF fraternity. A distinguished four-star general has fallen in the course of duty and in the service of country. I convey my deepest condolences to all families that are grieving this untimely loss and our mourning nation as well. May the Almighty God rest their souls in peace and grant their families fortitude at this time of very deep sorrow. I also wish quick recovery to the two injured soldiers in this accident who are now in hospital. The Kenya Air Force has constituted and dispatched an air investigation team to establish the cause of the air crash. In honor of the life and the distinguished military career of the fallen general who lost his life not just while in office, but in active military duty, the nation will observe a period of 3 days of mourning commencing tomorrow, the 19th of April, 2024. During this time of national mourning, the Kenya flag, the Kenya Defense Forces flag, the East African Community flag, and flags of all formations of the military shall fly at half-mast in the Republic of Kenya and in Kenya missions abroad. Poleni sana.
My heartfelt condolences to the affected families. Now moving on swiftly, ODM leader Raila Odinga now says the party will pick the most suitable candidate as its presidential flag bearer in the 2027 general elections. Speaking during the ODM National Governance Council meeting at the Bomas of Kenya, Raila emphasized the importance of selecting the right candidate, stating that he would engage with all interested individuals as the election period draws closer. He has at the same time underscored the critical need for unity within the ODM party to ensure the opposition outfit secures the win. Now, very own Grace Ahati starts the bulletin with the report. Elsewhere, police in Kitui County have rejected an application by the Orange Democratic Movement ODM party to hold demonstrations tomorrow. ODM had applied for permission to hold the protest over what it has alleged to be a state harassment of the county governor Simba Arati. A similar application by a civil society organization, the Gusii Governance Watch, also stands cancelled. Speaking to journalists today, the county police commander Charles Casses said the move was to avoid any possible clashes among protesters.
The first notification that we received was on 15th this month, which was brought by an organization called Gusii Governance Watch. They were intending to hold a demonstration on 19th, from 19th for 3 weeks consecutively. But that is, the application was within the statutory 3 days that one can make an application to hold a meeting or any demonstration. They were granted by the two OCSs, both from Nyanjwa and Akisi police station. Another group is the ODM party, which brought their notification of intention to hold a peaceful demonstration again from 19 for 2 weeks. So according to section 5, subsection 4 of our Public Order Act, 2 meetings cannot take place at the same time or at the same place. So they were denied on that premise. So upon analyzing both applications and due to security concerns, we have decided to cancel the first application from the Gusii Governance Watch, so that we concentrate, so that the both protesters cannot harm each other, or so that they cannot antagonize each other. So both demonstrations from the ODM and the Gusii Governance Watch stands cancelled from now. And any kind of demonstration that will take place will be treated as illegal.
Apologies for the technical issues. Now back to political matters. ODM party leader Raila Odinga now says the party will pick the most suitable candidate as its presidential flag bearer in the 2027 general elections. Speaking during the ODM National Governance Council meeting at Bomas of Kenya, Raila emphasized the importance of selecting the right candidate, stating that he would engage with all interested individuals as the election period draws closer. He has at the same time underscored the critical need for unity within ODM to ensure the opposition outfit secures the win. Our very own Grace Ahati reports.
ODM leader Raila Odinga has assured ODM members that the party will pick the most suitable candidate as its presidential flag bearer in the 2027 general elections. The opposition leader was speaking during the ODM National Governance Council meeting at the Bomas of Kenya in Nairobi, where he noted that he would engage with all interested individuals as the election period draws closer to ensure a well-informed decision is made. Emphasizing on the critical need for unity within the party, Raila noted that the party needs everyone on board in order to secure a win for the top seat in the 2027 general elections. Raila further highlighted the significance of inclusivity within the party, noting that regional divisions should not hinder the party's ability to present a unified national image.
Tumesema tunataka kuona kama wanachungwa wanakuja pamoja. Watu, hii mambo ya uchaguzi ni kawaida katika kila chama, lakini uchaguzi nataka izidishe nguvu ya chama, si kusambaratisha chama. Hii chama inahitaji wanachama wote ambao wako hapa ndani, viongozi hao wote. Mimi niko hapa juu, lakini mimi sitakuweko milele na milele. Na hata kama mimi siko, nataka ODM ibaki iendelee mbele.
During his speech, Odinga called upon ODM members to shift their focus from mourning past defeats to actively mobilizing support for the party's agenda. According to him, the party's vision is to bring about transformative change for the country's governance and political landscape.
Stay strong and start moving forward. And we move forward together as one. Our goal is to enable the party move ahead to change our country, change our politics, and change the way we are governed. We must start organizing to fight our opponents now and defeat them in the next general elections. We know the huge damage the party in power is doing to the country.
Furthermore, Odinga reiterated his commitment to promoting gender inclusivity and empowerment, encouraging women within the party to go for leadership roles.
I particularly appeal to and encourage women to go for leadership positions. I promise to protect and defend their rights to leadership. The gender agenda must begin here in the party.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you, Grace Ahati, for that report. Now, elsewhere, Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has officially handed over Uhuru Park to Nairobi County Government following near completion of renovations. Uhuru Park has been undergoing renovations since September 2021 under the Kenya Defence Forces through the defunct Nairobi Metropolitan Services in a bid to transform them to international park standards. Speaking during the handover ceremony, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja noted that Kenyans will not be charged to access the park. He, however, said national identity cards will be required for access. However, Duale differed with the Governor Sakaja on use of the park for political rallies.
To the people of Nairobi, this park was made for you. It is upon you to take care of it. We ask you to hand it over to the next generation by observing park rules. And the park rules have been put at the gates. We have a management system at the gates. When you come in, initially the plan was for people to pay for use of Uhuru Park. But because of that history, when you're in university, because of the air bagger, you know, if you can't afford lunch, you can't afford to pay for the park. Uhuru Park will be accessible to the people of Nairobi for free, and it is not even free. They pay for their taxes, so they have been paying for it. Anybody can access this park. It is a people's park. When you come at the gate, we'll have a management system, which we have. Already it is at those two gates, gate D and gate, I think that is gate A, where you have your identification. Unatoa ID yako, tujue wewe ni nani, tunaweka CCTV hapa. People of Nairobi, let us take care of this park. Let us make sure we cannot allow vandalism.
And as we take our first commercial break, later on tonight, I'll be joined by Institute of Certified Secretaries CEO Jeremiah Karanja to delve deep into an upcoming event of the 28th Annual International Conference. Stay tuned for more news updates.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Cynthia?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcast?
Really? Even Meet of the One?
I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Panda tukupandishe on Go Entertainment this new year on GoTV bila kulipia extra. Kama uko on GoTV Lite, lipia GoTV Value. Utapata kufurahia GoTV Plus. Tayari on GoTV Value, then lipia GoTV Plus uenjoy GoTV Max. Kama wewe ni wa GoTV Plus, lipia GoTV Max ujinice na shows noma kabisa on GoTV Super. Furahia the best sports, international shows na local shows una like free. Download GoTV Stream. GoTV. Love it.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Now, Kitui Governor Dr. Julius Malombe has refuted recent claims by the Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, labeling Kitui County as the top spender on the wage bill among the 47 counties. Speaking after a consultative meeting between the county executive and the county assembly in Mutomo Town, Kitui South, Governor Malombe said the Controller of Budget's assertions are inaccurate and distort the fiscal reality of the county. Echoing the governor's sentiments, County Assembly Speaker Kevin Katisia said the report was misleading and alarming, emphasizing its potential to erode public interest in the county government's commitment to effective governance.
Nothing could be further from the truth. To put the record straight, it should be clear to all and sundry that the Kitui County budget for the 2023-2024 financial year amounts to 14 billion.24, which compared it to 5.39 billion, which is at 8%, goes to personnel emoluments, which is salaries, and 3.8 billion, which is 24%, goes for operations and maintenance, and 5.3 billion is, or that 8% is the one which was set aside for development. So far, the county government of Kitui, both the county executive and council assembly, has spent 4 billion Kenya shillings on payment of staff salaries against an approved budget of 14.27 billion, which amounts to 28% of the total budget as opposed to the 75% reported by the Controller of Budget. This is the true position of the expenditure on wages for Kitui County. Any other figures being floated elsewhere are just not correct and does not reflect the facts, and we are ready to engage any office on the same.
As the Kenya National Drama and Film Festivals came to a close today, stakeholders say the objectives of the festivals to nurture every learner's potential and to provide them with opportunities to demonstrate what they have learned in class, as well as passing critical messages, were realized. According to the Chief Executive Officer, Kenya Institute of Career Development, KICD, Professor Charles Ongoda, the objective to nurture every talent at the drama festivals was, but there is a room for improvement, noting that it is a learning process. Now Nelius Wanjiru with more details.
Speaking during the closing of the 62nd edition of the Kenya Drama and Film Festivals held in Embu County, the KICD Chief Executive Officer noted that the festivals also provided learners with an opportunity to mingle from diverse parts of the country, where they compared their performances.
With the Kenya National Drama Festival, in organizing this festival, one of the objectives of this festival is to nurture every learner's potential, give learners an opportunity to demonstrate what they have learned in class, as well as part some critical messages. So I'm very happy that watching this festival for the last 10 years, we have been able to achieve, the last 10 days, we have been able to achieve the objectives of that festival. Learners have also got an opportunity to mingle with one another from diverse parts of the Republic of Kenya, and also to watch other students presenting and to compare themselves and get encouraged that what they are doing is not being done in isolation.
He also said the performances are available at KICD for learners who wish to pick them, adding that the government will give guidelines on the distribution of the same.
The adjudicators are right. There are a number of items that you could see have burdened the learners with heavy themes, with a bit of too much gadgetry, and sometimes with too many lines until the learners don't have identity. But again, the majority of learners did what was expected of them. That is in isolated cases, and I agree with the adjudicators that we should be able to avoid that in future, which is okay because this is a learning moment, and the fact that learners are able to appreciate that they should not be overburdened is good information enough to all of us. So we appreciate what the adjudicators said, and that's why we appoint them to officiate on the festival.
From the adjudicator's desk for the pre-primary and primary schools category, Dr. Simon Peter Otieno, a lecturer at University of Nairobi, observed that teachers had bombarded children with heavy language and tasks beyond their age. He said the adjudicators had advised the directors and producers to filter content wisely so as to ensure children are not overburdened in the name of seeking to shine. The National Drama Festival events at Embu University and Kangare School, with students from best performing schools from across the country striving to outdo each other for top honors in dramatic excellence, has finally ended today at State Lodge Sagana in Nyeri County. Reporting for Hope TV News Watch, my name is Nelias Wanjiru.
So this parent calls me after service and says, "Young man, you do not know what you've done," because tells me that my son comes and tells me that, "Dad, I have also been struggling with ABCD. His was a mix of alcohol and pornography. And just hearing Justo on Route 104, I feel a young person like me gave his testimony on how God has moved in his life." And I requested to meet the young man, and we met over coffee, became good friends. And I told him as well, listen, by me sharing does not mean, because the devil puts banana peels all over. Now, scripture tells us that, no weapon fashioned against you shall prosper. It doesn't say that weapons will not be fashioned. No, it says no weapon. It means weapons will be fashioned. And he will put traps all over. Right from your phone. You open Instagram, you see an image. And all of a sudden, it plays back. All those things. So that's another, because the battle is in the mind. That is why Paul says in Romans 12:1, not be conformed by the patterns of the world, but rather be transformed by the renewing of the mind. He knows it's here. The devil knows. And this guy is millions of years old. He's not our age mate. For those who remember when I used to tell us that night, he's not your age mate. Stop saying that, me, I know that you have been saved for 15 years. Dude, the devil has been in existence for millions of years. So guess what? He knows everything about you. Okay? But greater is he that is in you than he was. We walked together, and I'm happy to say that he found his deliverance. And he became also a peer champion, as it is, an educator. And for me, those are some of the things that, wow, without Hope FM, really the platform of Hope FM, and as Reverend Tomboy used to tell us as well, this is a platform not for you, but God is using you. The initiative Friends of Hope is more or less like what Romans 10:17 says, that faith comes only by the hearing, and hearing through the word of God. But how will they hear if somebody does not go to tell them? Think about that Muslim brother or sister who, because of you being a friend of hope and supporting with your 100 bob or whatever it is, that in Friday evening, by chance, they listen to Yesu Ndianjia. And then because of you supporting and being a friend of hope, the message will reach them in Zanzibar, in Mombasa, in whatever it is. Mimi ni Rafiki Mso. I'm a friend of hope. I'm just as Zawaka. I would like for you pia ukwe Rafiki Mso.
Now, the Institute of Certified Secretaries, ICS, will be hosting the 28th Annual International Conference at the Sarova White Sands Beach Resort in Mombasa. The three-day conference, scheduled from 24th to 26th April 2024, is under the theme Governance Resilience in the Face of Economic Crisis. Tonight, I am joined by a special guest, ICS CEO Jeremiah Karanja, and we're going to delve deep into the upcoming event and understand the significance of this year's international conference. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Gloria.
Yeah, maybe you can begin by briefly introducing yourself and tell us about ICS.
Thank you. As you have mentioned, I'm Jeremiah Karanja, the Chief Executive Officer, Institute of Certified Secretaries. I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm also a Christian. The Institute of Certified Secretaries, the legal name is the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries of Kenya, is created under an Act of Parliament, Cap 534 of the laws of Kenya. Our mandate is to promote governance in all sectors. So we are housed at the National Treasury, and what we do, we regulate members who are referred by various titles, company secretaries, they could be board secretaries, but who are governance professionals. Yeah, that is what the Institute is about.
Now, with your explanation that the Institute is the face of governance profession, who then is a certified secretary?
A certified secretary is a professional who is trained, accredited, and regulated on matters governance. I know sometimes when people hear of a secretary, the thought that comes in my days, maybe the receptionist or but a certified secretary is actually somebody in an organization, is somebody who is very high level, because you are talking of somebody who supports boards in terms of the board operations, whether it's board meetings, advising boards on matters governance. Among the things, for instance, certified secretaries do is something called governance audit. They can come to your organization and assess the level of governance and give you a report on areas that you need to improve on. So when you talk of a certified secretary, is somebody who have gone through an exam by a body called CASNEB. CASNEB is Kenya Accountants and Secretaries National Examination Board. They have passed the exams, registered the National Treasury through a body called Registration of Certified Public Secretaries Board. And once they are registered, they become our members. Now, once they become our members, then legally they are called certified secretaries. But then a certified secretary is the professional. The title of that person will depend on the organization they work for. For instance, if it's a state corporation, they will be referred to as a corporation secretary. If it's in private company, they will be referred to as a company secretary. If it's a board, a statutory board, they will be referred as a board secretary. The others referred as trust secretaries, council secretaries. So it depends with the organization, but the important aspect is that person who is responsible for supporting the board on matters governance. That is the person we are referring to as certified secretary, and who is a professional and a member of the institute.
Thank you so much for your response. Now, as we get now straight into the upcoming event that is supposed to take place next week, kindly fill us in on what the event is about, what you'll be addressing, and the significance on the theme that you chose to this today's business landscape.
Thank you. And maybe, Gloria, even before I go to the event, just something I want our listeners to know about the work of a certified secretary, because I would want to interest every organization. Every organization who wants to be sustainable, I would want to interest you to engage the services of a certified secretary, because as I have mentioned, this is a professional who is coming on board to support your governance. Governance is the foundation on which organizations stand on. And therefore, if your organization is not employing good governance practices, it's just a matter of time. We have had institutions in this country, some which were very huge, well known, but which, because of poor governance practices, they are no longer there. So every organization, whether it's faith-based or otherwise, and the reason I have chosen faith-based is because in the one of the MOUs we have, for instance, with Hope Media and other faith-based organizations, including Daystar University, is to promote governance in faith-based institutions, because we are telling them, even them, they require the services of a certified secretary. Now, going to what you have asked about the annual conference, this is the 28th conference for the Institute, and this conference brings together policymakers, members, and non-members of the Institute. It brings together students and various industry players and who are interested on matters governance. So this year, looking at the economic situation, not only in Kenya, but globally, we have had issues of conflicts in terms of international conflicts, like you know what is happening between Israel and Iran, Russia and Ukraine, and so on. All these issues have brought about a lot of economic pressures, and we can feel them even at home. Yeah. And therefore, we want to explore as an organization, looking at the way economic situation is, what do you need to put in place to ensure you are sustainable in the within this economic situation that we are facing as a country. Mm-hmm. So basically, that's the essence of that theme that we have chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your response. Maybe just a question, even with that particular theme, maybe can you expound on how the Institute comes up with certain professional courses or training programs to be able to assist the various professional fields to also apply the current world advancements, be it even the technological developments and etc.?
Yes, the Institute is very active in terms of supporting institutions on matters governance. Mm-hmm. For example, the Institute developed on behalf of the State Corporations Advisory Committee, SCAC, and the Public Service Commission, PSC, developed a code of governance called Muongozo. That Muongozo mm-hmm. is what we would call the Bible in terms of state corporations. It tells them this is what you need to put in place in terms of governance structures and mm-hmm. so on. The Institute has also, over the years, supported other institutions in developing various other codes of governance and governance frameworks. Mm-hmm. We have, for instance, supported quite a number of institutions in coming up with governance charters and other governance processes and structures that would support organizations to be resilient, even in times like these ones. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that the Institute has done over the years is the capacity building. Over the last 2 years, the Institute, in collaboration with the State Corporations Advisory Committee, for mm-hmm. example, has been conducting board induction for state corporations, all boards of state corporations who are newly appointed, mm-hmm. as well as continuous training just to upskill the skills of these board members so that as they govern these institutions, mm-hmm. They are not just guessing, but at least they are knowledgeable on what they actually need to do. Yeah. And finally on that, in the religious sector, the Institute partnered with a group called Hesabika mm-hmm. and other stakeholders to develop governance guidelines for churches in Kenya. So in every sector, the Institute has been supporting institutions on matters governance.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you for your response. Now, with that being said, is this event open to both public, private sectors, as you have mentioned, even trying to expound to even religious institutions? And with that, what are certain key topics that you want or are to be addressed during that conference? And how do they align in ensuring that the governance profession is something that is well attainable in the country?
Gloria, just the other day, His Excellency, the President, was closing the wage bill, the National Wage Bill Conference. And one of the challenges we have in this country is actually the wage bill in the public sector. So we'll be focusing on issues like that because they're actually governance issues. When you see organizations with bloated workforce, and sometimes, for instance, if I'm the CEO of the Institute, I come recruit my entire clan, then the other person who comes after me does the same without looking at or considering sustainability of the organization. Those are governance issues. So we'll be looking at issues like that. We'll also be considering, for instance, one of the key speakers we have is the Governor Central Bank, just to help us understand these issues of inflation and what is happening in the monetary policies. We have also invited the chief of staff and head of public service, again to help the participants delve into the issues of governance in the public sector and how that governance has an implication on the economic situation in the country. Another key speaker, for example, is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, trying to look at the legal framework and the role of judiciary in ensuring economic sustainability. And even Bishop Callisto Odede will be one of the speakers, again trying to look at the intersection between ethics and governance and also issues of economic sustainability. So they are all sort of topics. Why we would encourage people to participate in discussions on such topics, because they are not only topics affecting the country, because sometimes when you hear of country, you think it's something out there, but there are issues which are affecting you as a person. And for that reason, the conference is open to every organization, every individual, whether private, whether public, or even civil society institutions, churches, and other religious institutions.
Thank you for the detailed explanation, and maybe to the audience or the various stakeholders who might be viewing, kindly explain how this conference is going to contribute into enhancing governance, as the institution can show that it is the face of how governance should be, or how it is a shaper on the governance, and how it can assist in even the certain challenging times the country is facing, even globally. So maybe how do you envision this conference contributing to the leadership and the mode of governance, even the future of governance in the country? Are there also maybe young leaders who are being called upon because they are the future of the generation and the shapers of tomorrow?
Yes, among the speakers we have, again, we have people even from the devolved units. For instance, we'll be having the Chair Council of Governors, and who also happened to be the Governor of Kirinyaga County Government, Her Excellency Anne Waiguru. So we'll be looking at governance in the devolved institutions. And therefore that directly affects the Wajiko, because if counties are not well governed, then they will not be in a position to render services that are required on the ground. In terms of leadership, and in terms of creation and development of new leaders, one of the things that the Institute has done, we have sponsored 50 mentees, what we call mentees. They're actually students, young students, that we have fully sponsored in terms of their fees, transport, accommodation, and everything, just to come and interact with the rest of the delegates and learn from them, even as they network. And that is part of the role of the Institute in developing the next leadership. One of the programs that the Institute came up with 2 years ago is what we call governance and ethics mentorship and internship programs, where every year we take on board 100 mentees just to walk them through issues of governance and ethics, and we sponsor them in quite a number of programs. We do this with support of our stakeholders, where some of them bring resources, and we're able to induct these upcoming leaders. Yes, this conference will not only be talking about today, but we're also focusing on tomorrow, and that is through investment in these young professionals. Yes.
Even as we wind up, the conference that is supposed to take place next week is a mixture of leisure and learning. Now, what's the concept behind that? So is it just to help the attendees get to understand and learn new things and network, aside from just being in detailed programs and learning certain details? And maybe you can also just continue with your final remarks.
Yes, as you have said, the annual conference to be held next week, Wednesday to Friday, in Mombasa, White Sands, is a combination of learning and leisure. It is an opportunity for families. If you want to take your time off, go with your family to Mombasa, and as you attend the conference. The program is organized in such a manner that will allow you such time with your family. But also in addition is an opportunity for networking. Some of us, and this especially I want to challenge the young people, some of us, we got jobs through such opportunities where you come and network with established professionals. So it's also an opportunity for networking. But also most importantly, for those of us who want to invest in the young people, we will be giving them time for mentorship. So we'll be having sessions where we'll be putting them in groups for the experienced professionals also to mentor these students that I just mentioned about. So it is a combination of so many things, not just learning. But importantly also, we look to coming up with recommendations to government on policy issues that need to be addressed in the improvement of governance and even the economic situation in the country. Yes.
Thank you. Now, even as the shapers of the governance profession, maybe what would be your final remarks to help even our audience understand the vital and key role that your institution, the Institute, plays in ensuring that the future of governance is at the top of the list?
Yes, governance is everything. Where we are as a country, I believe, is because of governance. Countries who have done better than us is most like when you compare their practices in terms of governance, ethical conduct and all that, is also because they are doing better than us. And therefore, if we are able to address the issue of how, and when you talk of governance, it's not a very complex thing. Yeah. Is that 20 bob that you are giving to police officers as a bribe? It starts with you in the house, in the church, in your organization. Those ethical, unethical practices that most of the Kenyans have embraced, that is what is taking our country back. And therefore, as an institute, we partner with quite a number of other institutions within government and outside government just to educate people on the need for good governance. Yeah. And for institutions, we continue to encourage them to engage services of qualified certified secretaries because these are professionals who are trained, and should they be involved in unethical practices or they are not able to deliver services to you, then you can come back to the institute and complain, and we have a disciplinary mechanism where we are able to hold them accountable. But if you engage a quack, somebody who is not qualified, then those are some of the challenges that we have in the country, because the company secretary that you have, one of the things you need to check is that company secretary a member of the Institute of Certified Secretaries, because if they are not, then they are actually illegally in office. So I want to challenge Kenyans in every aspect, ensure that the people you engage are professionals in that particular area.
Thank you so much. Now, even as we expect to get more details on the upcoming event, for our audience, where can they get further details on the registration, the amount, the venue, and just the nitty-gritties to understand how the event will take place?
Yes, the event, you can write to us, the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries of Kenya, ICS at info@ics.ke, sorry, or training@ics.ke. We'll be able to give you more information. If you visit our website, www.ics.ke, again, you get all that information. But just to mention, in terms of the price, in terms of the investment, the price for this, the cost or the investment for this conference is 70,000 for non-members and 50,000 for members. However, if you are coming as a group, then we are able to negotiate and give you a discount. Again, we normally give discounts to senior citizens, and as well as the youngsters, those who are below 35 years of age. And I think, Gloria, you may qualify for such. So again, for them, we normally give them a whole 50% discount. So those are nitty-gritties which we can discuss, but all information is available on our website, www.ics.ke.
Thank you so much for coming for the interview. It was quite informative. And to our audience, once again, you can visit their website, or you can also email them to get further details on the upcoming event. And now we take a short commercial break and we'll be back with business news.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on leadership forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcast?
Really? Even Meet of the One?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Thank you for choosing Hope TV, the channel that brings you hope, entertainment, and inspiration. We value you and would like to serve you better. Talk to us by scanning this QR code on your screen or go to our social media page at Hope TV Kenya and click on the survey link by the name Hope TV Survey. It will just take a few minutes but means the world to us. We value your feedback. Hope TV, look and live.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
And on local business news, Isuzu East Africa has hosted its second regional after-sales and sales challenge, dubbed the Isuzu EA1 Grand Prix competition. The event saw more than 60 top technicians, service advisors, and sales representatives from Isuzu's dealer network across Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania participating in the contest. Isuzu East Africa Managing Director Rita Kavashe emphasized on the critical role that technical proficiency has on the safe use of vehicles. This was in line with the theme of the competition, keeping our roads safe, one vehicle at a time.
The world, simply having a skilled mechanic is no longer enough. We need solution providers. Our customers are not looking for somebody who can only fix what has been identified as a problem. We are looking for solutions providers, and I want to encourage our technicians today to invest time and resources in understanding the growing threats in new innovations that are coming up to simplify service deliveries to our customers.
And today is a very exciting day because we have a Grand Prix competition amongst all the dealerships of East Africa. And it is a very special day because we have brought in most of the best technicians, the best parts advisors, the best salespersons The idea of the competition is to standardize skills, to upskill skills, to see how well conversant they are with the Isuzu.
This competition must be the motivational program for all of IEA staff, not only your director staff, also all dealer staff. I believe this competition that goes to the customer satisfaction in near future shortly, and also this competition motivate for all of your staff. That is very nice program.
Safaricom has today announced its commitment to powering the Connected Africa Summit 2024, scheduled to take place from Sunday, April 21st to Thursday, April 25th at Uhuru Gardens, Nairobi. With a 20 million Kenyan shilling sponsorship, Safaricom CEO Peter Ndegwa noted that the partnership will create meaningful dialogue and collaborations that will drive Africa's digital transformation.
The role of government is to ensure that we have an enabling policy, legal and regulatory environment to enable the private sector thrive. The role of government is not to compete in business with business. So what we want to do in this Connected Africa Summit is to use this platform to elevate the discussions that we have been having at Connected Kenya to now a continental level, so that we think together as one continental ICT family and come up with a very clear tech roadmap moving forward based on changes and emerging issues in the operational environment. We are today grappling with issues of AI, whether or not to regulate AI or allow AI to regulate itself. We have got Internet of Things, we have got big data, issues to do with machine learning. All these require thought leadership, and that is why we are coming together as a continent to talk together as one ICT family and see if there are certain common denominators that we can adapt at the end of this summit with a view to breaking the geographical barriers so that we have one African digital.
And on local sports news, President William Ruto has flagged off the team that will represent Kenya at International School Sports Federation World Cross Country 2024 in Junior Championships. He said his government is supporting education institutions to identify and nurture talents at the grassroots so that the youth can optimally monetize their talents. The president spoke this at the State Lodge Sagana, Nyeri County during the National Drama and Festival Winners' State Concert 2024. The event is set to happen next month.
Congratulations on being part of the team that will represent our great country in the championships next month. As I have been informed, there has been a rigorous process to identify the team that will represent Kenya, and I'm very privileged this morning to receive you, potential champions, for the event next month. The exercise that has gone into identifying you as the team to represent Kenya is a rigorous exercise, and I am very confident that we have the best to represent our country next month. And because we have the best, I am sure we will emerge as the best from the championships. Is that the case? Yes, sir. You will make sure that that happens? Yes, sir. So we will be available. I will come. Many of us will be there to cheer you so that you can confirm Kenya's prowess, Kenya's place as a champion in athletics globally, and we are going to demonstrate that from here, from home, here in Kenya. So the under 12, the under 15, the under 18, I am very confident that you will put your best foot forward, you will make us proud, you will win the championships, and we will be there to celebrate.
Muthaiga Golf Club is set to host the 2024 Waziri Golf Tournament this Sunday, 21st of April. The event will serve a prelude to the forthcoming Connected Africa Summit 2024 and aims to unite ICT professionals, entrepreneurs and policymakers in a dynamic setting ahead of the summit, which is scheduled to commence on Monday, 22nd of April 2024 at Uhuru Gardens, Nairobi. The tournament, hosted by ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo, has attracted a field of 150 amateur golfers who will grace the greens of the Par 71 golf course. Owalo said the tournament presents a unique opportunity for networking among like-minded ICT industry professionals and policymakers from across Africa in the lead up to the Connected Africa Summit. And with that, we come to the tail end of our bulletin tonight. Many thanks to you for tuning in to Hope TV News Watch. And as for Gilbert Rotich, we are grateful that you enjoyed the session. Good night. I am Gloria Musimbi, and on the sign language interpretation has been Boniface Mirithi.